Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the final day of the Beta Sessions 1.0. But we are so sorry for keeping you all waiting. We had network connection issues, so we are back now. My name is Oluwabunmi Olabode, joining you from Nigeria. I am the convener of this initiative, and it has been my privilege to host this incredible 3 days journey with you all. Whether you've been here with us since day one or you are joining us for the first time today, you are in the right place. Welcome. Over the past 2 days, we have had conversations that challenge us to rethink our approach to technology. On day one, we explored the future of tech in the AI era and discovered that AI isn't the end of the opportunity. It is changing how opportunity looks. So yesterday, on day two, we continued this by confronting an uncomfortable truth. Many people spend years learning but never build real projects. Our speaker reminded us that growth doesn't come from endless preparation, it comes from taking actions. So today we bring everything together. So because learning is valuable, very, very important. Not just learning and building. Then building is even better than that. So I believe that today why you're here is for you to not just learn and to start. It's just for you to start building also. So you're welcome. The ultimate goal is not just to build, it is to build something that solves real problem and creates lasting impact. Tonight we'll be exploring how ideas become products, how builders identify meaningful problems, and how each of us can move from simply writing meaningful problems, and how each of us can move from. Sorry, I'm nervous. So by the end of today's conversation, I hope you all leave asking one powerful question. So, what problem can I begin to solve with the skills I've learned today? So, let's begin. Joining us today, we have three outstanding professionals from three different experiences. Yes, not just three different, but like different tech experience. So, please help me welcome them. Today, we'll be having this is Simak. This Simak is back-end engineer. He enjoys designing scalable designs. Yeah, so if you're with us, let's start getting your reactions, your comments. If you're happy to be here today, and if today is your first time, welcome, welcome everybody. Even me, I'm really excited to be here today, and having these great minds. Yeah, so it's something very, very. Yeah, thank you so much, everybody. So, like I said, we have just a Simak joining us from China. He's a backend engineer who enjoys designing scalable systems and helping developers move from learning concepts to building practical softwares. I'm delighted to have you here, Jesus. Welcome. So another one of our speaker is John Okyere from Accra, Ghana. John is a software engineer specialized in Web3 and artificial intelligence. He helps builders understand emerging technology while building solutions for the future. So John will be joining us soon. We also have Chibuike Nwafor joining us from Lagos, Nigeria. Chibuike is a product strategist, full stack developer, and tech mentor. He's passionate about helping people transform ideas into products that solve real problem. Chibuike will be here in 30 minutes. He has a work assignment, so he'll be joining us soon. So to help our audience connect with you, please kindly introduce yourself, your name, what you currently do, and one exciting project you're working on.
Okay, I hope I'm audible. Can everyone hear me? Am I audible?
Yes, it's Bupe. Is it clear at your end? I don't know
Hello.
because for me, a bit far.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So before I introduce myself, I would like to begin with a story. Actually,
Wait,
a very interesting
it's not
story.
audible enough.
So
Hello? It's not audible enough. Your voice is not audible
yes,
enough.
hello.
Yes, hello. Can
Okay,
you
if
speak
I'm
a bit
not
louder?
audible, then I have to drop this. Yes.
Bupe,
Can
how
you
is it at your end?
can
Is
you hear
it?
me now? Okay.
It's not very
It's
clear.
not very clear. It's a bit
Okay, then I
distant.
think I have to drop this. I have to drop this headset. So I have to disconnect the headset and speak
Okay.
from the.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh,
So while we wait for
Hello.
Justice to get their sets. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, Justice, you can continue.
Okay.
I think we can hear you now. It's better.
All right. So now, yes, I'm audible now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So, so before I begin, I would like to share a story. Actually, a very interesting story about two guys. You know, so it's about these two friends. They want to build. So the both of them had a job, and they intended to build a house. And one said that he was going to save money so that he can build his dream house. And they all said, for the fact that I'm working and earning something small, build coming in. Begin the process. The other guy was saving his money, and the other guy said, the little income that is coming in, I'll be using this little income to be building the house small, small. So fast forward after 5 years, the guy who started small, small without thinking was able to build something good that he could lay his head in. And the guy who said that he was saving to build his dream house was still saving until now he's still saving. So that is just it. Today we are here and I'm so excited being a part of this builder section. It's all about brand mind, it's about people who take action, not just sitting for the right moment. So my name is Jesus Ukaegbu, and I'm actually from Liberia, but right now I'm in China and doing my master. For my undergraduate, studied software engineering and IT in general, but actually major in computer software engineering. So I write code like usual. And currently the project I'm working on is called Texura. It's actually a ticketing to roll out in Liberian market. And I'm so excited to these sections. And I just can't wait to share my experience because it has been a wonderful ride. Not been easy, but it has.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, we can
Yes,
hear you.
yes, okay.
Oh, thank you so much for that, Justice. And that was nice introduction. So we are glad to have you here today. Welcome. Bupe,
Uh, okay. I'll go with my usual introduction. Victoria, I guess you already know it. Hello, everyone. My name is Bupe Chiyana from Zambia. Um, I am a recent, what, I can say graduate. Yeah. I just completed my software engineering program. Uh, so yeah, that's basically me. I'm an innovator. I've participated in many hackathons, innovation challenges, and a lot of research because without research, your work is just shooting in the dark. So I'm more centric on research and development. I love African intelligence.
Yeah,
That's
even
why I'm
what's
wearing
going
this
on?
outfit. Because okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sure, sure. Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Wait,
yeah.
someone
So
should
I was
mute.
saying, I love African. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying, did you hear the first parts that I mentioned?
I didn't hear it clearly.
Okay, so let me start from the top. So my name is Bupe Chola from Zambia. I am Victoria's friend. We were classmates at one point. Yeah, we were classmates, and we used to fight for first place always. Yeah, if she's number one, I'll be number two. If I'm number one, just like that, you'll be number two. So yeah, uh, as I said, I'm
Oh
a
my
software
god.
engineer, innovator. I just completed my software engineering degree program here in Zambia at the Zambia University of Technology. And yeah, it's been a good experience. But most of everything, I'm African. That's why I'm rocking this African outfit. Yeah, with the spirit of celebrating our people in the World Cup. So yeah, happy to learn from everyone in the call, and would love to see the comments in the comment section on YouTube because we read those, and you might not know. You find yourself in China as well. So yeah, thank you.
So have you? If we are attending most of our sessions and we have Bupe there, you always hear. Pl- Please mute your mic and this is it's echoing. So if you have been attending sessions and whenever you see Bupe present anything, you have known that Bupe has been my friend for a while now. Well, I can hear myself now. So if it's also echoing like that on YouTube or LinkedIn, please let us know. Let me mute. Is it okay now? Like I think it's caused because yeah. So thanks so much, Bupe. So much. This is Simak. I'm happy to have you here today. Be on the call is what's going on? I can hear Mark. This is my network. Just a Simak. At your journey, what solution have you built that you are most proud of? Not necessarily because it is technically complex, but because it genuinely helps someone.
the water with some solutions. Yes, some of it, you know, unless you find something that is more interesting and you realize that is a solution that can help people, and then you try to push for it. So platform is a solution that the best solution that I think that I provide is format of systems. So trying to help in reducing stress in terms of getting tickets for events. Very solution that and just to is
Can you hear me? Okay, so what you said just is I didn't hear it clearly. Please, if you can call me again. Well, before you go ahead,
okay.
I would like everyone to know that we have three phases for
Okay,
this
so
session today. Before,
mhm.
yeah, so and we're starting with a building solution that matters. So that way we're asking the question about what you've built that is like most important to you. I mean, that made you most proud. Hello, do you hear what I said? Hello, Justice.
Yes, I'm here.
Do you hear what I said?
So like I said, since you were yes, I heard. You said I should repeat, right?
Yes, please repeat what you said.
Yeah, yes, yes. So that's what I'm saying. I said since you weren't available online, so I'm just going to be very snappy with it because I've already said it. So the platform that I've built that and inspired me a lot is the Tatsura platform. Like I said, yes, you know, is a platform that during events, the aspect of
Bupe, can you hear me? I didn't hear. Did you hear just as clearly? Okay, so Bupe, if you have any stories to tell us about your tech journey, Please, you can let us hear from you while we wait for Jesus to fix his network.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, louder.
Okay. My tech journey has been very interesting. Yeah, it
Hello.
started way back. Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
Jesus, seems your network is poor. We can't hear you clearly. So, while we wait for you to fix your network, we want Jesus, Bupe to go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, clearly.
Okay, yeah, I was saying it has been very interesting because uh, coming from an era where technology wasn't really counted as a sustainable career, I struggled getting the proper material that I needed to learn, and I only got the chance to look at tech when I would go to school. That was primary and secondary because we just didn't have access to these tools and a proper laptop because early on I wanted to do a lot of things in tech. I started learning about code in eighth grade or seventh grade thereabout, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey from there. Yeah, I think I used to study a lot about the theory on tech, but really doing the work, I think I started in eighth grade. I got to join the Jets Club. We have what we call Jets Club, where we talk about different aspects of technology, engineering, and math. Yeah, so it's been interesting. Then I chose software engineering, of course, and people are not surprised because I mean, it's me. Um, yeah, so I've built quite a number of tools, quite a number of products that are yet to launch. But I can give you a preview later on in the session. Yeah, with this new AI thing, not really new, but this booming AI thing, I think we've gotten a bit better in the way we build, and we've seen how far we can go at the moment, though the possibilities are endless right now. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And that's really, really interesting. Is Jesus back now? This is if you can hear us, you can speak. Let's confirm if you can hear you.
Hello. Yes, yes. Can you hear me, Victoria? Can you hear me?
Yes, I think it's better now.
Okay, okay, okay. Yes, okay. Thank you. Um,
You can come again because what you said earlier we didn't hear anything. So looking at back at your own journey, what solution have you built that you are most proud of? Not necessarily because it was technical or anything, but because it's helped someone genuinely. Jesus, can Jesus hear? Are you with us, Jesus? Jesus. Okay, well, we have to move forward. So while we wait for Jesus, Bupe, what can you say? Looking across Africa today, what are some of the biggest problems you believe young innovators
hello,
should be paying attention to over the next? Yeah, hello.
hello,
Jesus, can you
hello.
hear us? Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing you, booming. I thought you were talking to Bupe.
Can you hear us now?
Yes, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you very well.
Yeah. Please come again with what you said earlier because we've not been hearing you clearly.
Oh God, I don't know. I think I have to change location, right? I may change location. I think I have to take this computer so that I can. Are you really getting me now? Am I clear now?
Yes. Clear now.
Hello?
Sure.
Hello?
It is clear. Bupe, can you
Can
hear
you
me?
can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you.
Hello? Hello?
Bupe, is it my network or Jesse's network? What's going on?
Yes, okay, okay. Yes, I'm much better now, right?
Jesse, can you disconnect and connect again? Like reconnect.
Yes. But am I clear now?
You're clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. I'm okay.
All right. Please go ahead with what you said earlier. We didn't hear your story.
Yes, so I was asking. I felt you were still talking to Bupe. That's why I didn't, you know, say a word.
No, that means you didn't hear. No, no, no. I was saying that, you should tell us your story again, looking back at your own journey. So
Okay, okay,
you share
okay. I
something
got it.
about
I
what
got it.
you viewed that was, yeah.
Okay. So looking back at my journey, um, I will say that it has been a very interesting one. Um, very interesting and not so easy. I remember when I started school at Progress. I mean, I was very fascinated and eager to know about technology, especially software engineering. But then I lacked the community to help, and I didn't really understand what it truly meant to be a software engineer or a web developer until I met a friend back then who really helped me to uncover the hidden truth of what it truly means to become a web developer or probably a backend engineer or software engineer in general as a whole. So his name is Nixon. Actually, he really helped a lot back then. So he was the one that made me to see the pressure that comes with it, the commitment, the time you need to put in, you know. So back then, though I was slow, yes, actually I was slow to pick up because most of the time we get to meet with him, he would give us tasks to do, and when I go back home, I was not really committed to the computer. When I go home, I would just lay down the computer and I mean do other things around, and later just come and touch the computer for like maybe 30 to 40 minutes, and then I feel like things is okay, and I say, oh, why I'm not really getting this, and this is like this and like that. But the truth there was that I mean I wasn't really giving time. I wasn't putting in time that was needed to be able to learn properly and move on the foundational stage to the stage of growth. So that's why my progress was a little bit slow. So that was actually the journey. It wasn't an easy one. And along the way also there were a lot of fun, laughter, Oh, yeah, you're not so, dedicated. You're playing with this. You can't just do this little tasks. People that are experts in certain things. I mean, when they try to talk to you, sometimes you can be demotivated if you are not really careful. But it means well for you because they are just encouraging you to speed up. So back then, it used to be like these guys were teasing me and making fun out of me. But I really cherish it and I took it, from a positive, side of the view and realized that these guys mean well for me and they want me to just grow instead of looking at it from a negative standpoint. So I pushed myself and I started to grow, gradually, as I started to understand some things. And another thing I would also share for my journey has to do with the aspect of navigating, honestly. Remember, like I started the conversation, I talked about community, right? I didn't have the right community. I didn't have, much of the right people around to really help. So, though I had someone who make me to understand and know the hidden truth of what it takes to become a software developer or engineer, but I didn't have the right community that was there to nurture me and help guide me along the way. So everything I was forced to find my way out of it. I was forced to, press through. I was forced to be available at any event that I see that is necessary for my growth and try as much as I can to make myself available to learn, right? So that was the thing there, right? So that's just basically the journey. It was actually a very tough one, yeah, but like I said, it was very very interesting, and a lot of lessons were learned from the path, right? The aspect of community, the aspect of um, people mentoring you, being around you to show you the way because you just cannot know the way. No matter how smart you are, you need people that have walked that path to be able to help you to see clearly and take you through it so that you can be able to discover your own path and walk your own path. So, I mean, for now, that's just what I have to say concerning my journey. And as we go further, I will continue to share regarding how things were like.
That's really, really an insightful one. Look at the way you started by someone showing you the way, and you didn't get discouraged when you got to a particular stage by what the
Yes.
pressure other people put to you, and
Yeah.
you just stayed focused and you kept pushing. That's very,
Yes.
very good. I like that. I think we should all know that is not we should all turn we should like always turn any situation we find ourselves around like to make it positive for us as an opportunity to learn and to
Yeah.
learn very well. So from what you said now, so what really changed? You were learning, you were pushing and all of that. So what changed from when you were learning to start making you to build something?
Okay. Very interesting. Back then I remember I was always, the type of person who just wanted to learn and learn, just to consume the information. And I remember the guy who I just mentioned his name, Nixon. He always used to say to me, "This is not it, right? Like you cannot learn this by just consuming the information, just going over theory and theory and theory, right? Because that's how the school get to teach us about it. They make us to consume theory a lot and forget the real part because the real part is about you, diving deeper into things, like getting your hand dirty, like I would say, getting your hand dirty and figuring out things on your own, making mistakes, correcting them by yourself. And at the end of the day, you realize that you were able to learn something very important and come up with something good. So that part of it was something that I took time. to learn and to grab, right? I took time to learn it and I took time to grab it. I was still on the part of consuming and consuming and consuming. And when I later realized that consuming and consuming couldn't really help me, but building could definitely help me. When I switched from consuming to building, and I realized that, oh, the best way that I can be able to learn it is by getting my hands dirty. It's not like the theory is not important. I need the theory is important. It's there to make me to understand some things. But getting my hand dirty is the best and faster way to be able to move from the beginner level to an expert level. So that's what just changed from there. That when I changed my patterns or approach of learning, I realized that building was far more easier and better than just learning and learning.
Can we call that curiosity to, you know, curiosity to know how some things work also pushes one to want to build more. Like you're curious about how this thing work. I want to do something
Yes,
that
yeah, curiosity is something that we
will
can
solve
really
this
call it.
problem. Hello?
Yes, yes, actually, yes. Yes, I'm here. So curiosity is actually the right
Okay.
word to use there. Yes, because the moment you are able to find a solution for a problem that you see people get to use, I mean, it stimulates that curiosity in you to be able to do more research to come out with solutions that people can be able to use, and you start to see. I mean, you start to see problems and solutions start to pop in your head. You no longer just see problem and just look at it as a problem, but you see problem and you start to identify it as a possible solution that can bring in income and that can benefit that can benefit the mass within the community or in the country that you stay within.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Jesus. So, Bupe, what's that one thing that drives you to start learning tech? I think every one of us, there's one or two things that drive us, not just that we just start tech like that. So, what's that one thing that encouraged you to start it?
Uh, Very funny thing for me. I think it just started. Uh, I just love tech. I was born loving tech. Even the people that know me from I think way back, I think grade one, they wouldn't be when I tell them that I'm doing tech, they're not surprised because I was just born like that. I don't know if that exists, but yeah. But mainly it's because I grew up watching a lot of tech movies, a lot of tech stuff. I spent most of my time reading. Till now, I still have. I think that I could call it a problem of reading. I can sit in my room the whole day and just read. So I think, yeah, because of reading and exposure to these tech platforms, I really enjoyed tech and I just got into it because I had nothing else to do, nothing else that I loved more than doing tech. Yeah.
Okay, I think I like that. So, yeah, now we understand that it's just something natural to you because of your environment. Because not everybody has the opportunity of watching tech movies or having tech people around them. So, uh, yeah, I know that. Well, I may be wrong, but I want to tell us when you started learning tech at a very young age, and you were building stuff, reading things. At what point did you get to that you started building something that made you really proud of yourself?
Okay, good question. Uh, I think when I built something that could, I think, translate a language. I think that was in my 11th or 10th grade. Yeah, I learned how to use APIs then. Then yeah, I was impressed with myself. Look, okay, if people can use this to learn English, I think this would be good. I think that was my first project, and I did this using Scratch. Yeah, the interface, Scratch interface, what. Yeah, by then I never knew the int main like direct code, but just the Scratch blocks. You put things together and it works. So I think that was my greatest experience when I knew that okay, I can actually build for people. And yeah, as I said, I'll give you a preview on an app that I did. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So, knowing that you really love to work, I mean, to do tech, to write tech, to soft tech, to build tech, was there any time you were challenged, like you had challenges in building, that you felt stuck, and how did you move forward?
Yeah, I actually did a lot of I still do. That was in
Mm.
2022. Um, I think I just started learning how to properly code, and we were learning C++. plus plus. So you can imagine the horror of learning a language you just knew about. Um, yeah, so many challenges came about. How I solved those problems, I got into communities around my school, in my class especially. I have a very good circle of friends that I had just met in school. Then yeah, from there we progressed, and just like you and I in class when we had those classes, um, we got to learn from each other. Yeah, so community through the community is how I learned and how I've become the person that you talk to every week. Yeah.
Oh my god, interesting. I think I like this. Yeah, well done, well done, well done. So, just Suma, can you tell us anytime you've had challenges in building something, and how did you conquer? How do you move forward?
Oh, okay. Very interesting too. Um, so I've had many challenges on, but the ones I would just point out would be the most frustrating one actually. And it was during my thesis project, and I built an e-commerce site, an agricultural e-commerce platform. And during the process of the building, I can remember I was really stuck one night trying to solve this bug in the code. And I mean, imagine I took an entire night, and even the next day, I was still on the problem, but I just still couldn't, figure out the problem till, I took a
It's
break,
breaking.
and later on,
Is it from my hand?
yes, hello, you, you hear me, right? So
Yeah, hello.
I later on,
Yes, we can hear
I
Yes,
you.
I
later
can
on
hear
took a
you.
break. Yeah, so I later on took a break, and then boom, like almost every programmer can say, and then here goes. I mean, or here comes, the solution, and I was able to figure out the problem, and I was able to resolve. Next story has to do with the AIX part when I was when I was trying to pass the probation. Yeah, I think every one of us here passed through AIX, we can relate to that. So when when I was trying to pass the probation period of AIX, it was really, really, really challenging. I mean,
Ah,
like to get that 80 mark is not easy with the terms of projects. Imagine, and C was the language that was introduced through AI, and trying to Linux, and working with it. It was really difficult. I remember that night, my aunt, she asked me, she said, "You can't sleep? Imagine all night you have been up." I said, "No, I will not solve
Oh
this."
my God.
Yes, really.
It will
I
not
mean,
pass the deadline.
I was very I cannot pass the deadline, and it was actually that night the deadline. I mean, so I didn't want it to pass because if I was going to leave it, obviously I was going to fail. I'm going to pass the deadline, and we all know what it means in here. I mean, those moments was actually my most challenging, and I'm glad that I was able to find a way around it and resolve it.
Yeah, I think I really like that. Well, I'm already getting some comments here on YouTube. We can see. Okay, let me start from the beginning. Okay. So Priska says something. Let's go. Yeah, so Priska said to Bupe, for a parent who wants to introduce their kid to tech, first grade, what should they focus on? So before Bupe answered that, I think what Jesus says is very, very true. Every one of us have passed through one or two challenges, especially even ALX. I also did ALX software engineer, and I know how. Oh no, it was really
Mm-hmm.
challenging. Especially the
Oh
probation
no,
period. You have to
really
pass probation. Like,
challenging.
no, I must not fail.
Yes,
Many times my
yes,
uncle will
really,
ask
really
me, "Won't you
challenging.
sleep?" I'll say, "Sir, I want to finish this project."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so really interesting one. Thank you for sharing that, Jesus. So back to Bupe. Priska asks, for a parent who wants to introduce their kids to tech, fourth grade, okay, into tech, fourth grade, what should they focus on? Like, I'm putting this on the screen so you see the question yourself.
Okay. Uh, this was a very good question. But before I answer it, let me just make mention that it's good that all of us have gone through ALX and we know the pain and struggle. Because, wow, it's been,
It was
Yeah.
really
yeah,
hectic.
and I'm still doing some programs with them. So, yeah, that's very challenging. When people see us doing this, they think it's us playing around, but ALX is tough. It is tough. For a place where their motto is doing hard things, ish, they really live up to that. Uh, so how the question is what for parents who want to introduce their children to tech, what should they focus on? So for the parents, they should focus on letting their kids explore the different types of tech that are there. Um, whether they want to do web development, they want to do UI UX design, they want to do mobile application design. Uh, they should just let their children explore different types of tech. They should expose their children to tech because very few parents believe that tech is actually a way to change the world. Uh, then for the children's side, they should be more curious. I think curiosity did kill the cat, but also took us to the moon. So I think
Hmm.
we should be more curious to learn and learn from others as well because we have to stand on the shoulders of giants to see beyond. And
Yeah.
that's how we've gotten,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I'll make reference again to the classes that we had. We used to have a lot of exercises in the classes that Victoria and myself took. It was very difficult to escape because we were put in the leadership side of things. We were learning and we're also leaders. So, yeah, we should take up the challenge and just do it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
AX, let's
that's
do
really,
it.
really just do it. Exactly. Just do it. So, just as do you have anything to say to that, like from your own perspective to the question Priestess asked?
Oh, oh yes. So Bupe has really, said it all. So, I mean, the 2 point he mentions, they are actually key. I mean, curiosity and allowing the kids to explore is very important because with those two things, one is able to discover their goal and to be able to find their path in the era of tech. So I mean, nothing much. Really, the only thing I can just add to it would just be the aspect of them. I mean, making them to see the benefit, right? Benefit when people get to see what is beyond, they will push through the challenges to be able to see until we get the reward. I mean, so I mean, parents should be able to make their children to see what the benefits of technology will bring to their kids and even to, I mean, to the society and where they live. Because if those kids can be able to understand that this thing that I want to venture into or I want to explore will bring so much benefit, then they will be very curious to go into it and push through whatever obstacles or challenges that might come their way. They will be able to persevere and stay true. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Justice, and thank you so much, Bupe. I hope that answers Priska's question. Priska, if that's answer your question, you can let us know in the comment section. So, looking across Africa today, what are some what are some of the biggest problems you believe young innovators should be paying attention to over the next decades? Bupe,
Okay. Yes. They- okay, Bupe, right?
No, you can go ahead.
anybody can go ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, no problem. So, yeah, I mean, very interesting question, Victoria. Right now, looking at Africa and looking at the way technology is advancing, I mean, what I will say uh, is that people, Africans can be able to venture into teamwork. Teamwork is very, very important. Teamwork is one thing that I don't really know. Maybe it's different within country, right? Maybe the experience are definitely different, but teamwork is very key, in this current era, and because most of the time people want to really, I mean, take self glory, right, and not really work in a team. Everyone want to work solo, right? But teamwork is something that I will tell people that they can prioritize, most especially in this era. Yeah, it's very key. That's one thing I can recommend.
Hello, Victoria. Kindly repeat the question.
Okay, yeah. So teamwork is the key. I didn't hear Jesse Smack very well, but I think from what he said, yes, teamwork is very, very important. So the question is, looking across Africa today, what are some of the biggest problems you believe young innovators should be paying attention to over the next decade?
Um, Problems or challenges that they should look at. Um, I think the growing pride that developers are having or innovators are having, they don't want to work in teams, as has already been mentioned. They don't work in teams because they think, no, AI can do it for me, so I don't need a team. Yeah. And then growing challenges are that we're not really seeing, okay, personally, I'm not seeing growing concern on the internet infrastructure. It's really saddening to see developers trying to get something done and internet goes down. Like, especially here in Africa, it's quite hectic. So I think these are challenges that we should focus on and not wait for governments to solve, but we should actively try to solve these challenges. Because if there's no internet, there's no progress, I guess. So that's really, really, really important and a challenge that we need to solve. Because if it's not solved quickly, we will continue falling behind as a continent, and as young people, we won't be able to advance as we would love to. Not everyone can afford Starlink, so that's one thing we should focus on, trying to improve the infrastructure and, yeah, trying to become of spirit of we are because I am and I am because we are. So yeah.
Yeah, yes, and Victoria, let me just add to what Pupe said concerning the internet aspect. And I mentioned teamwork, and I would like to add this to what I said. Collaborations, right? I mean, we have to change the trajectory, right? We have to change the narrative, wherein I mean, the Western world is taking Africa as a consumer, right? The majority of the products are being made or developed here, and they are sold to Africans, and even the technology, the higher consumers are Africans, right? It comes to the African market. So we have to change that trajectory, and we have to also, fight as much as we can to collaborate to solve those kind of problems. Because in collaborations, there are a lot of things that we can handle. We can lift each other up, right? Just as Bupe said regarding the aspect of internet, right? We can lift each other up, wherein people can provide solutions, regarding network connectivity, and every other Africans can be able to support that solutions so that Africa can become a better place, not just a consumer country, a continent, I mean, but a continent that can provide solution and also sell it outside to the Western world too. Yeah, so it's something that we have to look at. Collaborations is very key as the need continues to arise in the era of internet, and other areas.
Yeah, I think Victoria has dropped off for a bit, and this is the internet problem that we're talking about. So,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
another question for you could be, what's the best thing that we can do as young people at the moment in terms of collaboration and just building together?
Um. Uh, well, Bupe, I my own is commitment. Commitment is very key. Yeah, commitment. Um, Seeing beyond the financial gain, right? Most of the time, in terms of collaborations, most people we always look at the financial aspect of it, but seeing beyond the financial gain, right? Yeah, we don't really see beyond the financial gain. We want an instant, finance. We want instant money. The moment, I mean, we are able to build something, and we start to see small things coming, it become our stopping point. So seeing beyond the financial gain, and I mean, looking at it as a lifetime vision that way. create a solution for thousands and leave a legacy for us is something that we can hold on to collaborate together as young people. Because a lot of times I have really faced this issue. Many will say, "Oh, we will start this project, we'll do this, we'll work on this," and at the end of the day, you find out that I mean, few people will be committed. Maybe in a team of 10, you find out maybe three person will be committed. The rest of the other team members are not working. So you find it very difficult for you guys to push that vision. Like regardless of the knowledge you have, regardless of how much knowledge you have and expertise you own, you you still need people. Like I said, team. You still need team to dedicate responsibility to so that you can be able to grow together. Yeah. So that for me that's a commitment and seeing beyond the financial gain.
Okay, great. Victoria is back. Welcome back, Victoria.
Yeah.
My call got disconnected. I'm back now. So thanks so much for that, Bupe and Jessis. That's really, really an insightful response, and they are really practical. So on the comment section, if you have any idea or contribution to this, we'll be glad to hear from you also.
Hello,
Hmm.
Victoria.
So yeah, hello.
Yeah,
Can you hear
so
me?
I'll be breaking protocol a bit, but I'll also ask you a question. Is that okay?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, what drove you to take um, now? I know we've been in the same class together. I know the reason, but for our viewers and people that don't know, what drove you to take and what's keeping you in tech?
To be honest, what drove me to tech is, if I can remember clearly, I think I saw it was during my internship. Yes, that was some years ago. So that time I was posted, I did computer craft. So, and I was thinking, what should I really go into? Like during the internship, where should I work? Then I just decided to work in tech industry. I saw this guys coding, they were building some things, and I was curious to learn more. So I started doing some things like designing, building things. They were looking more interesting, and I was loving it. Bringing things to life. Yeah, I
Mm,
really love that. So I was doing some things, and another thing is that our boss also took us to a hospital and showed us something that we were doing practically in the office. Then when we got there, he showed us that how this thing works. The code we wrote, how we designed those things at the back end. Those are the things that are functioning. That kind of thing is what the hospital needed at that time. I was like, wow. So what I was actually doing can be used in big organizations like this. Okay,
yeah.
this is good. Then I've been really interested in tech. So I've been trying to build something. Although I stopped building for a while now. So yeah, it's been a while I've actually built before I was so passionate. I was doing a lot of things. I push myself. Even when I don't really know how to code very well, I work with team. I love teamwork a lot. So I'm Bupe, one of my friends. So and I also have
Mm,
other guys too that I work with at that time. So I asked questions. I was curious because I was just passionate to build something. So that was what really drove me to tech and why I'm still in tech right now. So presently, I may not be building something like before, but I'm still in tech because I know it's something that we all need and it's something I'm passionate about even when I'm not building, but I'll continue to build later. I don't want to give anybody excuse here. People watch that. Okay, so she's not even coding. Actually, I don't want to give any excuse. It's just like work at the time. I just now. but I'll continue to code very soon. I don't know if I answered that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's perfectly okay.
Did I? Okay. Thank you. So, any other question for me?
Jesse, any questions for her? I think I don't have any.
Well, okay. So I mean,
Chibuike is
my
back.
my yeah. So the other question that let me just throw one question. Since we have already started, so
Okay.
I could just I could just flow with him, right? So what have really been your most interesting moment in tech, and based on the many things that you have worked on, or in in a team, or as a team, uh, what, like, the solution you guys have pushed out there, how interesting has it been in terms of you seeing result of it, then yeah. So first is what have been your interesting moment in technology. That's one. Then the next is the solution that you have worked on, or you have worked in a team with, to produce. How impactful has this been, and what what um what joy or what feelings it brought to you as a person who controls.
Okay. So, let me start from here. What has really interested me? The first one actually is when I worked with the team. We're building this e-commerce website for an organization. Then I didn't even know how to code. Then I worked as the project manager.
Now, okay.
So working as manager as for a team of tech team, managing the front end, the back end, the whole project, the design, everything all together. I was controlling it, like, okay, do this one, submit your task, all those things like that. I was like, okay. Not that I had experience, but I went to watch YouTube videos to teach me. So I was really interested in tech though, but I don't really have that experience to manage such a big project. So I watched videos to guide me. So while I watch videos to guide me, watching these guys build those projects, I'll check their codes, giving me idea. When we run some and it's not really working well, I was like, okay, how do we make adjustments, corrections? When they make their corrections or adjustments at that time, I learn from them. Okay, this is what will be done and all of that. So those parts were very interesting for me as a beginner at the time. So another thing is when a particular project I worked on that I really loved is is a blog project. So I don't know. I abandoned the project. It's still on my yeah. I pushed it, but
Your GitHub.
my GitHub. Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's okay. This is what it does. I know if anybody here knows me very well, I like to write. I like publishing posts a lot. If you've seen my LinkedIn, I also have Medium account. So yes, and I built that particular thing because of some people like myself. I call it blog composer. Yes, blog composer. I built it with Flask at the time. So yeah, I didn't really do it very well. It was a friend at that time that just he guided me again, and I was able to bring it to life. So I was testing it was working. So when it was really interesting. Like when I type something and to come outside, it just bring the whole thing for me to write blog about that particular topic that I do. I was like, okay. It was really interesting. I
Yeah.
I was feeling myself. So those are the part of the moments that I had. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So let's do a interesting one.
Chibuike Nwafor, welcome, sir.
Yeah, good day, everyone. Sorry for joining in late. How are you all doing?
Yes,
Yeah, it was nice to meet everyone. I could have come in earlier, but the network had another story for me. Unlike the usual day today, I was very, I won't say unfortunate, but it was really a hustle having to switch within network just in order to join us right here. But I'm happy that I'm in the midst of everyone and everyone is a builder. I came in when Victoria was excited about the project she built, and you know that moment when you know that yes, you're building things with your own hands and you're seeing it work. I understand the excitement that can bring, and I think that is why we are all here. So thank you for having me on this session. Welcome, intellectual, and I'm so happy to be in the midst of everyone here.
okay,
Welcome, Chibuike. To help our audience connect with you, and yeah, so let us know your name, what you currently do, and what is one exciting project that you're working on at the moment.
All right, all right. So good day everyone again. So I'm Chibuike Cletus Nwafor. I am a software engineer. I held that of a software engineer until this month. So currently, I am also a technical team lead. I help them build solutions, not limited to web applications, which also include um, AI automated processes and systems in order to facilitate the organization projects. So I do that, and I also mentor individuals who are looking to transition to tech or who just want to join, and I offer some insight on how they could join in a smooth process. So that's basically the summary of what I do. On LinkedIn, I see something like I build product, system, and people, which is just my little way of coining all what I do together because I also mentor people, which seems like a lot, but it's just one thing being broken down to three different facets. So currently, on a personal level, I'm working on a very interesting product, AI product, which in simpler terms will help people figure out um, would I say their life. So yes, that is what I'm currently working on. While other working on other projects, but that is for my employers and also some private business projects. So that's a little background of what I do and what I'm currently working on.
Welcome, Chibuike, and we're really happy to have you here tonight.
Yeah,
Bupe
thank you.
and Jesus already shared their experiences in tech. I would like to hear from you also. So, what's your background in
All
tech?
right, great. So I wouldn't say I'm a newcomer because I have a traditional tech background from studying science to moving to computer engineering. I did a degree in computer engineering for 5 years. So I'm not new to like coding, building out things, logical reasoning, engineering maths. But even while doing all that, theory is different from applied knowledge. And up until I graduated, I could not still build a project confidently on my own. The first time I actually built a web project was sometime around my 300 level second semester, and I just found it very interesting to pick up. And even as at that time, I didn't know that I'll be going further to go build something out as a software engineer. All up to I finished my university, and as I finished, I had a little break. And when I think about what to do, a friend of mine who was staying with me just said something like, "Guy, you're good in programming. You know how to program. This is what we were teaching us back in school. Why don't you look into doing something on it?" And just like that, I thought about it and I picked it up. I peradventure, I now came across the ALX program. I don't know, there's this thing about faith that knows how to bring things that you want to achieve to you. So I joined the ALX program, and for a year, it was a very interesting experience because within that period, ALX had to kind of put together more a 3 years or a 4 years program all in 1 year. So it was not really beginner friendly if you don't have a bit of background. But I
Yes.
persisted and I even started my journey with a mobile phone, an Android phone. I started it using an Android emulator, like this Linux emulator. I think that time it was Temox. I was writing
Okay.
C code on my phone, running it. If I run it, I push it into I've forgotten what they called it for ALX sandbox, and it
Sandbox.
works. It packs, and just just like that, I did the first 3 months with my phone before I was able to secure a laptop. And within that period of ALX, it was such a pivotal period because I also learned how to um, collaborate with people. That time, ALX had no physical center. I had to get people together in order to learn. So getting them together almost sounded like a noble thing, but to be honest, I was doing it for myself because with people there to learn, you have to teach them, and if you want to teach them something, you have to know what you're teaching them. So
Mhm.
I got them together, and as at the point we were over 50, we started with the first person. We have this project. Would you like to join us study? Before you know it, we came together, and in just a matter of months, we're over 50. We had built a couple of projects together, and we have our repository on GitHub currently where we collaborated. So it's that moment really taught me a lot about building, relating with people, working in teams because that was the first time I had the first heartbreak in tech. And the heartbreak came from
Oh my God.
my friends. Can you believe
Yeah.
that? The heartbreak came from my friends. And this is what happened. We were supposed to build a portfolio project together. And the first 3 people who I contacted were my project mates for the project. So traditionally, it's supposed to go very all right, but we didn't know that that project scattered. That
Wow.
project scattered because at the end of the day, there are no clear rules. This person, you're supposed to do this. You're supposed to do this. Before you know it, ah, okay, so I want to rush and build a project and do something. And that's when I heard the phrase like it's not about what you say, but how you made them feel. And somehow, the project was
Yes.
we're not able to complete the project together. But regardless, something was presented, and I completed it, and that's how my tech journey just basically started. So I did that, and the first set of gigs I got were from my fellow student back in ALX, calling me, I have a gig, can you work on this, connecting me with opportunity, and I was just building for people like that. And that is
Yes.
how I started. So that's just my brief story about how my experience in tech went.
Wow.
My origin story.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting. Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Chibuike, you said something that I would just like to throw light on. It is a very interesting thing within the tech space. So I had this friend of mine, back then when I was in Nigeria. I was actually complaining, where you're trying to build something and learn, like you just have that feeling, the syndrome that we normally call it in tech. That what is the actual word of this syndrome? You just
Imposter syndrome.
imposter syndrome, like you are not fully ready, right? And you feel like you are not growing. So I was complaining, and I talked with a friend of mine, and he was telling me, he said, Jesus, you have to understand that, you are even trying and doing better than other people. Imagine some of the people that have not even started. And he said, "Do you know how many projects that I started on and I've never completed yet?"
That's the
So,
thing.
so it's very like we have a lot of projects that we have started and have completed. When you mentioned about not completing a project, it just ring to my mind, and as it gets into my mind, I was like, oh yes, this guy is
Yes.
something very interesting. Yeah, it's like that.
Yes.
Yeah, more complicated.
Mm, yes.
That's true.
So at the end of the day, if I look back in my tech journey, I can there's a good credit that'll go to people having the right community around you to push you, because without
Yeah,
them I
community.
wouldn't have made it far. And
Yes,
even the
the
encouragement comes
community.
from the community.
Yes, very
Yes.
important.
Mm,
It's a very good one.
mm.
Yeah, and
Yes.
it's very important to realize that we are all from ALX, guys. Ish, it's not easy.
But we are all
Ah,
from there. But Chibuike and Ventura stood the test of time. And you, Bupe, you guys competed, but I wasn't able because, I mean, at that time, I can remember I was supposed to drop the program because it was approaching graduation time, and the pressure from here, I just couldn't keep up. So
yeah, I also
I
didn't
later
finish
dropped the
software
program.
engineering, but I completed other programs because there was load shedding here in Zambia, so it got very difficult.
Yeah,
Ish.
but I crossed the probation period and I went very far. But I mean, at that time,
Yeah.
I just yeah, I went
I didn't know that Justice didn't finish ALX.
far. I didn't,
I didn't know.
I didn't, I didn't know. I didn't. It was a very tough one, but I went really far.
Bupe, you didn't finish also.
No, I was left with 2 months, then it was load shedding. But no, I completed other programs. Yeah,
Yeah, I,
I've
I,
got
I
like
know
Well,
of other.
four like programs. Yeah.
Yeah,
thumbs up for
Chibike,
you and TBK. Yeah, thumbs up.
Chibike,
you,
thumbs up to
you,
us.
yeah, you and TBK
Even
is
with all the
the
challenges.
total.
It was I can only attribute it as, if there's grace, I would say it was grace that helped me finish it. Let me not tell you a very interesting. Let me even tell what is even more interesting.
Hmm.
On my presentation day, I don't know if you're aware of something called NYSC for Nigeria. So it's
Mm-hmm.
basically a year to serve your nation. And I was
Mm.
supposed to go report to the camp on the day of my portfolio presentation. And you won't be able to carry your laptop to the camp and everything. So it was as though everything was flashing at that moment. But magically, I was supposed to enter camp on the 16th of February, and that was actually my portfolio presentation. But for some reason, I was not called up until April. So I was being shifted to April, and I was able to do my presentation on that 16th and report
Hmm.
around April. So it's just as though I would say I'm lucky. It's just by luck that I was able
Yeah.
to complete
Right.
it. So it's
Yes.
it's the timing is very, very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Yes. Very good.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
so
God.
that is basically my story.
I think I like what I'm hearing this night. It's very interesting. So every day, developers come up with new ideas. I know every one of us here, we are developers. But not every idea deserves to become a product. How do you evaluate whether a problem is truly worth investing in your time and energy in solving?
All right, for me, all right. So if you're asking me what problem needs to be solved, is a different thing. If you're asking if I should invest my time in it, is a different thing. First of all, if you're embarking on a project and you don't have the finance to back it up, or to
Mm.
enroll me for that project, I personally might not be able to because I need finances. That project will take my time away, and time is money. I could be making more money, I could be learning, but I'll be working on your own project in order to get something. So it's a lot to, in this part of the world, it's a lot of commitment to embark on a project or an idea to build that. That's in the case whereby you're not the originator of that idea. And that makes sense. But now,
Mm.
if you're looking at what ideas is what building as the originator of that idea, so there are certain things you look out for. One of them is domain expertise, how knowledgeable about the problem you're solving, all right? How well you know your market, how well you know the problem, how well you've been affected by that problem. That is why it is not by luck that some of the problems, the unicorns out there, some of the maybe I should I mention it? I don't want to mention names so that I won't advertise their product. But that's because the founder have worked in either that sector or they have been affected by that problem, or they themselves felt it was inconvenient and felt like there's a better way I could have done this and decided to go ahead to build it out themselves. And I feel within those categories is where you would see um, product that actually go out to solve because the founder, the origin, the visionary, who might be the engineer or not, is facing that problem too. Secondly, you could decide to go for market validation. Market validation is a different thing. That means you have to communicate with as many people as possible to know those that has been affected by the problem you intend to solve. All
To
right.
solve.
So you have a problem, you have an idea. Who would that idea serve to benefit? You go meet them. Now, another thing you need to look out for, who will pay for the solution to whatever you're building. So when I mean by who will pay for the solution to whatever you're building, one mistake people make is they think about business to clients, business to business, but the solution you're building might not even be paid by the end user. Does that make sense? It might actually be paid by others for them to use it. Right? There are some products,
Mm.
their source of fund is not from the end users, but by brand paying the organization in order to make that thing available to them. So somehow they have to think about where the money is coming from. You might see something like mention WhatsApp. WhatsApp is now showing ads. Normal WhatsApp is showing ads.
Yes.
So these are just some subtle things you could put in mind. But the answer to this particular question is broad, and at
It's
different
really.
levels you
Yeah.
have different realization. These are just few things that one can put in mind when thinking about ideas to build. I know this because lots of founders, I work with business people, so I not only build, but I also strategize around whatever they're building. So they come with me with ideas. All of them look very brilliant, but deep down, I know that to sell this will take a lot. So yeah, I hope that answered the question.
Yeah,
Yes. Thanks so much, Chibuike. That's really, really a great answer.
yeah.
So, we also like to
Yeah.
hear from Jesses. What do you think about
So,
that?
like the Ojogu has, has said many things. Thank you, Chibike. I mean, it's a very interesting question. Like, I mean, I would just like to look back, on my journey. When you start to learn tech, especially coding, the excitement will always be on the part of writing code. You always want to be behind a computer, writing code and seeing things work. Oh yes, I'm a software engineer. I write code. I mean, that's just the whole thing about it. But I mean, as I grow in the field, I get to realize that it's not just about the excitement of writing code. It goes beyond writing code. You understand? It's about identifying problems and providing the right solution to the problem. And that solution that you are providing to that problem can bring income for you. So now I realize, okay, and change, and that brought out the entrepreneurial spirit in me that I have right now. That I realized that not all idea is a business opportunity. No, every idea is not a business opportunity that is investing in time and that of resources. Before an idea can become a business opportunity, it must be thoroughly evaluated. And how do we go about the evaluation? Like Chibuike rightly said, one has to do with the idea of identifying target customers. Who are those people that are going to pay for this solution that I'm going to know the target customers? If I'm to build something now, who are those people that are going to pay for this solution? And there is something in problem solving we call the pinpoint, then aspect. How urgent let's say how tedious I mean is this problem? And if I provide this solution now to these people, will they be eager to pay for it? Because there are some problems that people are faced with because of the pain of that province. We realize that people are very eager to pay for the solution without
Am I the only one? It's
hesitation.
breaking.
So yeah, you have to identify this. You have to identify the scopes and the scopes of the problem and know how urgent the problem is. And when you know how urgent the problem is, you know that okay, if I provide a solution to this problem, these people are willing to pay for it, and you can now risk investing your time and that of your resources. So I mean, it just to back up Chibuike, identifying your targeted customers is very very important. It's very true. Entrepreneur mindsets and ideas beyond just profits, and and profits can turn out in so many ways. It can be about reward also.
Hello?
So
It's in
sometimes
my net.
we just provide solution. We just provide solution.
Yes, you're muted.
We just provide solution um, based on reward. The reward that we might get from it. Sometimes it's not more of the financial gain, right? The reward that comes after. Hey, maybe we will be recognized. Oh, okay, these are the guys that build this solution. Maybe the state can recognize or people can recognize or, and those things become our tangible rewards. So it's just on this aspect. You can do the market evaluation and know that not all idea is a business opportunity. And for you to be able to identify a real business opportunity, you have to do your evaluation, do the market surveys of the idea that you have, and know the targeted customers that are available and how pressed are they for the problems that they are faced with that you want to provide a solution to. And you can be able to venture into it. That's my own take for it.
Thank you so much, Jesus. That's really an important point. We need to understand the market even before you build to know if what you're building actually worth its time and is what everyone it's what the people you are targeting really needs, not just the money. Well, money is also part of it actually. But
Yes,
majorly understand the market first. Very
yes.
important. So Bupe, would like to hear from you also.
Okay, I'll just sum it up in two parts. Then I'll break it down. We look at the concept of research and development, which is R&D. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are a project manager, so you know this, Victoria.
Mhm.
So research and development, basically, when we look at that, we firstly need to do research, not only on the product, because as founders and innovators, we fall in love with our solution without really falling in love with the problem. Falling in
Yes.
love with with the problem, in that we need to have um, more of a personal or relatable story to the problem instead of
Mhm.
rushing to the solution. What if
Mm.
the solution doesn't work? Then what? So when we understand the problem, we understand the solution, basically.
Yes.
So I think the framework that we are taught as innovators, software engineers, and all this is firstly start with requirements gathering or
Mhm.
elicitation of requirements. We go to the whole design phase, we go to the development phase, the testing phase, the deployment, the maintenance, all these things. They're not only taught to us just for fun or any other thing, but we actually need to follow these frameworks. We're not really taught that this is really important, but in our journey, we realize that, okay, wow, we really need to do R&D, research and development, because
Mhm.
it's a very critical step in development.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's all from me.
Yeah.
Mm.
Very good.
Thanks so much for that, Bupe. Yes, you need to do your research properly even before diving into solving the problem.
As
Understand the
Mr.
problem.
Joseph has got something to say. I can see.
Yeah, Jesus, please go ahead.
No, 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 nothing much. I was just trying to position my camera. But actually, I really admire what you said about the research and development. It's a very important thing, and interestingly, he was able to mention it because it's something that we have been taught, from the beginner stage in the aspect of software engineering and even development. But we most, often overlook it. We most often overlook it. Like most of the time, we just overlook it. We don't really pay much attention to it. And we are just so excited about the writing of code until when you start to realize that you can just this thing, I've been doing this, but my pocket is dry. They think I properly see how the idea can be, the solution I make can pay. So yeah,
Yeah, so thank you so much for that. Those points are really, really valid. And yes, you have to think about that very before diving into building any product. So this stage now we're going into from ideas to real products. And the question is going to Chibuike. Hmm. Chibuike, people often think product development is a straight line from idea to launch. In reality, it's usually messy. So can you walk us through what the journey actually looks like from identifying a problem to shaping something people can use?
All right, that's very interesting question because, like you said, it's not a straight journey, and I would say something. It's the who can remember Nike slogan? Nike, just
Yeah,
do it.
just
So
just do
Just do
it.
it.
just start, just start. That is just start. By starting, a lot of things
Just
you would learn through
okay.
application, and one of those things you will learn is how to adapt. There's some edge cases you will not think of until you start. There's some pricing model that you will have to adapt to. For instance, I was working on um, an AI video generation app, and basically it helps users generate videos just easily, as easy as you can. Eventually, it was a month by month subscription, but after we saw user behavior, we had to switch it up into something like give other options like pay as you go. That's not something you will see by
Mm.
strategizing from the beginning. You have to start the process of building it, test it out, and adapt it. At the same time, I was building a system that would allow an organization process, as at the time I didn't know that I'll get as many as up to currently on the first day, like 5,000 within a short moment. I've already crossed 5,000 users, and I was running into some things that I should have accounted for before. Things like rate limiting, number of calls, API quota crisis, and all that. And I was able to easily adapt to it. But at the beginning, I I did not consider some of those things until the project actually happens. That's why it's just about starting.
Is that my network or?
Experience, experience in essence. Can you hear me? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, yes, you are very clear.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
you are very clear.
Right.
I,
So
I, I,
experience in process, what makes I believe because there are a lot of things I don't know, so I had to kind of learn it humbly. I'm a very prideful person, but when it comes to learning, I have to go down and I can learn from anyone. So that's why senior developers are there, senior engineers are there because some of these things you're trying to do, you must have experienced it before, and from experiences, it could tell you where it could go wrong. And for someone that is just building out a product, the best advice I can give you is just start. And definitely for sure, things will go wrong. Sometimes you could spend more time strategizing, but at the end of the day, if you keep strategizing without moving at all, you remain at the same place. So just do it, be adaptable, be willing to learn, and eventually you'll find a way around either the problem or the a different solution entirely. And if you not be afraid to just throw it off the throw it off the window, it's normally hard, but it's highly advised. You get sometimes we get to attach to the project and it becomes something else. But from experience and by monitoring people and working as an organization, I've noticed that um, if you run into such kind of issue, just rebuild. Sometimes it's faster to rebuild than to start debugging. And
yes, yes.
that is basically what I have to say about that particular prompt. It
Yeah,
seems
yeah,
Victoria is no longer with us. But do you
yeah,
have
yeah,
anything to contribute to that?
yeah, Bupe.
Yo, no, you can go ahead. That's fine. You can go ahead.
No, 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 you can go ahead, Bupe. Then I can go last. Okay,
I'm back now.
okay. Okay, then I can go ahead because Chibuike have already said. I mean, most of the thing that I might say too because it's the same. We say well, you launch and you iterate, right? Just do it anyhow. So you first day get the launch and then you iterate over time and start to correct the mistakes. But to make practice, I will share an with a platform that that I just launched. MVP part of it is being launched right now in Liberia. I'm still waiting to see the real good make it in use. Then the whole idea was actually something that I just wanted to just build quickly, and because we have presentations and I wanted to make the presentation more unique because of my tech background. So I said, okay, since we are dual for traveling agency, and we are positioning ourselves as the agency, so it would be good that we utilize ourselves in a sense that we can have online system that people can register through. So I quickly built a little I mean, small is getting thing that they can just scan the code, see things and there's something. But then when I look at the idea and look at the Liberian market, I said, no, this is very good, right? Though it looks somehow, I said, no, it's something that I can work on properly. And then I started working on and then I sketched, the UI design and I built the homepage and, I started something. And then I realized that, okay, I think I can launch this MVP thing in the market so that people can be able to test it and things. So when I build the MVP part of it, that you can go create an account, you log in, buy the ticket, you download the ticket, all those things were actually working and things. And then interestingly, I posted on Facebook and I said, okay, you can test out because I want to get feedback so I can iterate and know how I can position myself. And someone reached out to me, a girl reached out to me from the US. We've been friends, down the line. And then she said, okay, can we talk about things? So I saw you, you posted something. I mean, it's very interesting. Are you open up for a partnership? I said, oh, wow. Okay. I said, yes, that's true. I'm actually open up. I'm actually open up for a partnership. So, I mean, yes. So I mean, fast forward, as we speak now, we're trying to, get into, the partnership deal so that we can make it, I mean, as a real product that people can use in Liberia and make it to be one of the number one. But just as we are all saying, it's just about starting. If I wouldn't have started, I wouldn't have understand. No, I wouldn't have seen someone who might have interest in it, and also see it as a business opportunity that they can partner with me on for us to push it. So just start, and over a period of time, you will get to figure out things. And the process also taught me a lot about development because I still have a whole lot of things that I need to correct and work on, a whole lot. But it just made me to realize that it's not just about reading, it's about getting your hand dirty. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much for that, Justice. So I think Bupe wanted to say something.
Yeah, I can just add a few things, just a few words, because most of the things have been said. You know that point in class where you're the last one to answer, everyone is standing, then you're the last one. When the teacher says, "You
Oh,
answer,"
wait, wait.
they're like,
That's
"Hey,
why I wanted you to
let me
answer
answer."
so that I'll be the last.
So yeah, yeah. So let me just read a couple of things. I posted some on WhatsApp. So of the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without
Okay.
confidence. Then number two is the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. So I think um,
Mm.
Yes.
that's really speaking into this conversation. And I also got to say, just making, just recently, I was answering the comment when I just said, just do it. So just dive into it, jump off your growings on the way down. So yeah, that's pretty much it. The 2 days that are important: the day you're born and the time
Wow.
that you receive your confirmation. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Be forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we all know that we should just do it. If you hadn't started, how will you get opportunities that you've gotten? How will we get opportunities that we've gotten? So start it. Just start. Just do it. Then when you start doing something, later it becomes something beautiful that you'll be able to launch. And people you say, oh, let's collaborate. Like this is I said, Chibuike and what people have said, Bupi has said also. So yeah, we should just start it. So directing this question to Jesse, based on what you said. So many brilliant ideas never become real products, as we all know. I think you mentioned something before that is related to that. That not all the products that I mean, not all the ideas that we build that work on can actually become that particular product to solve problem.
Hmm.
So, in your opinion, what keeps idea trapped inside notebooks, conversation, or people's minds?
Okay, that's a very good one too. So, in my opinion, what really keeps sometimes great idea trapped in that box is too much technicality or too much. I mean, trying to figure out, right? Yeah, it's good to gather information.
Yeah,
It's actually good to, I mean, understand the market, but it's also risky to stay in the loop of figuring out things or figuring out everything, right? Because you cannot be able to figure out everything properly when you are still in that loop of thinking, right? You just have to figure out a few things which are key, knowing like identifying the targeted audience that are faced with the problems and knowing how pressed they are with the problem. If it is an urgent, solution that is needed for the problems, and once you can identify those key things, I mean, you just jump off the loop of thinking and start to provide a solution. Yeah.
it's breaking
And
on my head. I
to
don't know if it's the same for everyone.
to
No, it's
I
I
clear
can
here.
hear you clearly.
yeah. So the second part I'll add to it is sometimes too many, I mean, great minds on an idea sometimes can cause problems. Like, everyone, when everyone are too burdened too, sometimes can create a little problem because I mean, basically, I don't want to say it can be more of the problem, but when you have too many brilliant mind and people are fighting to be the first, and being too egoistic, you find out that is a very big problem wherein people want to take the credit instead of, I mean, pushing for the solution to be out there. So that would just trap the entire idea and keep it in that loop. It does not. It just didn't. Let's say it will not just come out because people will be like, I was the one who brought this. I was like this, and it will just die down on that discussion mode. Yeah. So those are the two things actually.
Okay, actually, I didn't get that clearly because my network, I think, is very bad. It's been breaking, like, I didn't catch most of the points. But I think at the last part, you mentioned that people don't want to share their idea because some other people will say that they worked on that thing. And I don't know if I'm saying the right thing though.
Mm, No, I said when you have too many
Is that
brilliant
what you said?
minds in. No, I said when you have too many brilliant minds together and people are fighting
Yeah.
to
Okay.
take first place position, like taking credit for the idea, instead of working towards it, they want to take credit. Everyone is just trying to be the first.
Yeah.
Okay, I was the one that brought this. So most of the time, it will always stay under the hood. It will always stop in that discussion mode. It does not get to actualize because the minds that are on that particular idea or project is too there are too many and people are fighting for first place position or credit instead of trying to push the solution out there that they can all benefit from. So I mean those are things that contribute to ideas staying under the hood. And the first one I make mention is about staying in the loop of figuring out things, individually, right? Sometimes we can keep in that loop of trying to figure out everything instead of just jumping into starting. So you don't need to keep in the loop of trying to figure out everything because you'll never figure out everything until you start. So things are hidden in in the process. So you can only try to figure out a few things. Once you can figure out a few things, you start right away.
Mm, okay. Thanks so much for that, Justice. I don't know if Chibuike has anything to say to that or any contribution.
Yeah, just feel like all the point Jesse said is valid. But I could think about two other reasons. Maybe because I've been I've been in communication with founders, and do more of this kind of consultation. So this is a paid advice, by the way. So do have to jot it down somewhere. So this is what I see have really hindered ideas from actually blooming and still remaining on paper. One of which is fear. Fear, just like we had just do it. The other is fear. Another is lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge. And what I mean by lack of knowledge is the fact that they have this idea, but they don't know who to meet. They don't know how to pull funds together. They don't know basically where to start from. Sometimes obsession could make you study enough to know more of how to bring this to life. But people just have brilliant ideas, but after thinking, how did I come up with the money? And they choose to throw it away. Or how would I do this? And they choose to throw it away. Then the extreme end on having to compete on credits, like Jesse said, is what you just mentioned now, the fear that someone will steal my idea away. Hmm. That is more popular than you know. People are often afraid that if I tell this person this idea, he might just go start it up. Or when they meet people of means who could fund that idea, they tend to don't give the full picture. And it's good. You can do it, but there's everything that have a pro, have a con. And quite on the contrary, I could tell you that it will be better for you to say that your idea out than to keep it. Because people sometimes you can even post your idea and no one will work on it. Everything you thought was all in your head. And secondly, you also should be mindful of extremely unique ideas. When I mean by extremely unique idea, if you have an idea and maybe it's not exactly as you must have envisioned it, but others have built out what you have thought about, and some people have even gone ahead from you. Do you know that it's actually a thing of joy because they might have tested the market from you? What you need to do is just go, learn from them, learn what happened, what they did, what they did not do, and use that to better execute your idea. But what happens is that people get an idea, come online, research about it, and see that something like that is already out. And because they feel it's not unique enough, they throw it away. But they forget that before Money Point existed, there was InterSwitch. Before what we know as Facebook existed, was other means that existed before that. Even the WWE will make use of the internet as we know of it before it becomes widely propagated. There were other things that were similar to that. But because someone chose to go ahead to work on the execution, that's how we came with more refined version of what we have now. So these are the few things I decided to add. Fear, fear, look at it. Lack of knowledge, always aspire to know more. Then also do not be afraid to, and while guiding your idea, also know who to share it to, and be open to sharing out that idea. It might just glean some perspective which you might not have thought of. I believe those three, if we could be able to start up something instead of keeping it on paper.
Wow.
Oh man,
Thank you so
Chibuike,
much for that,
I'm guilty with the
Chibuke.
tail one.
Yeah,
Yes, man. It's like you are talking to me. I'm guilty for the tail.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So sometimes we have ideas. Sometimes some great idea comes to my mind, and I'll be like, so fast. Okay, I think someone already doing this. No, man, I don't think it's a very good idea. And then,
I know, right?
but, but
Uh,
I've learned now. I just have to learn what they have done and find the loophole and identify and move.
mm,
Okay. Thank you.
exactly.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So we all need to know who we share our ideas with. It's true. Some people they disguise. So, in fact, you think they are kind of your friends, but not everybody is your friend. So check
Yes. Why
properly
you're
who are you
guarded?
sharing your
Why you're
ideas with.
guarded? Yes, when you're guarded, still don't be too guarded. You can be guarded, but don't be
Not
too
be too
guarded.
guided.
Sometimes when you're too
Yes.
guarded,
Guided.
that's
Yeah.
what stop the idea from blooming, right? So you just need to pray for discernment if there's something like that, and surely
Exactly.
it will go on.
Well, my network today is really acting up because it's been slow and I've not been hearing you clearly. So I'm really grateful for what we discussed tonight. So let's come to the last phase of today before our keynote speaker comes up. So this part now will be talking about building a life of impact. So yes, I'll be going around the panel. Hmm. This question I'm about to ask, I think Peha and Jesus Mark already said something similar to that before Chibuike joined the call. So Chibuike, I think if others have contribution later, you can also contribute to this. So what's the biggest challenge facing young African innovators today, and how can they overcome it?
Biggest challenge facing young African innovators today, and how can they overcome it? That get right under impact, right? Okay. So the biggest challenge facing young African innovators today is, I could say things like access to funding, but there's always two sides to the coin of that. That is where still the lack of knowledge comes in play. These opportunities are there, deals are being made almost as many as, I think 3,000 deals in a month. I'm not sure of that figure. I stand to be corrected, but there are quite a few number of deals being made every month. But the lack of knowledge on where it's happening keeps keeps have really affected a lot of young Africans. Secondly, would I say imposter syndrome in a way? They feel that they are not ready. They feel they are too small. They feel that their idea, their perspective is not, would I say, worthy to be shared. So they tend to keep it in. Meanwhile, the perspective they have as an African or as a young African from what they see, it's valuable and there is a market for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the second one. Then I could also say the lack of mentorship. There are lots of mentors,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yes.
sometimes there's this thing I often say. There are a lot of there's several ways to, let's take it. There's several ways to the path to glory. There are several paths to glory. Look for a mentor that's almost come from a similar background as yours. No two stories are the same, but there's always a story to learn from the experience of your mentors. So while also looking for a mentor, also put this in mind that okay, your mentor have done it, so you can learn from his experience, but at the same time, you are not your mentor. All right. So keeping that in mind, you should be able to know what works for you. It's not an easy thing, but it's something you have to learn with time. So I think these are few, like you could mention quite a few of them, but I feel this four would generally affect every ambitious person that is looking to start. But at the end of the day, the easiest way to break this barrier is to know that it's possible. And how do you know that it's possible? When you expose yourself to people who have done it like you, where you know that someone out there that have the same qualification as you have done it. But the only difference between him and you is the audacity and the amount of work being put into it. And just by bearing this in mind, I believe that we should be able to make an impact, at least from watching this session.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes, it's actually true. The aspect of the mentorship. I mean, I really faced that challenge too a lot when I was, trying to make my way in the space. Yeah, it's a really serious concern in the African tech industry, and it really needs to be looked at. Mentorship, proper mentorship, yeah, proper mentorship and teamwork is something that we really got to look at. Yeah,
yes. Yeah, so with this, I think the path forward is clear. I just like Bupe say, I really like that. I had to write it down. The two important days, the day you're born and the day you know why. And optimism is very
yes,
important. It's also sometimes
yes,
good to have to be delusional. So yeah,
yeah. It's very, very important for me. I stole that in my medulla brain. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that the day you were born, the day you know why. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's actually true. Those two things are very, very important. Because once you identify why, then you are talking about finding a solution. Yeah, the first thing is to identify the problem. If you can identify the problem, then you now start to think about the solution to the problem. If you cannot identify the problem, then you cannot find a solution to it. It's very important. So Chibuike, so
Yeah.
let me just ask you, based on your experience as we await Victoria to join us. Um, so how has things been like? Okay, she's here now. So how have things really been like over the period of time, in the tech space? What projects have you really worked on that you get to see the solution pay off so immensely that gives you joy? That feelings that you get when you get to see people using your products and and the problem that you identify and that problem is being properly addressed. Yeah, so can you share your experience about that? What projects have brought such experience to you?
hmm. Yeah. So I just posted today that sometime next week I'll come face to face with individuals I'm proud of. Yeah. So that's one of the projects. Um, it was very it's a moment of joy, and I had to see that I built system that allowed 500 people upskill their skill, and also contributed in not only teaching them but also the technical aspect of it. And that is one of the, let's say, important, some of the key takeaways of you learn from being a software engineer. Sometimes you do not know it. We do not know it. But the difference between us and them is our ability to go learn and apply our knowledge. All right. So
Mhm.
because I've done that, I have the confidence to know that if I'm given an idea, I know how to start. I go research on it and I build it. So I think that is one of the very important traits I've learned. Then currently in the tech space is a very interesting period of time for the tech space. Why? Because currently AI AI has causing a bit of disruption. And what that means is that the work of a 100 developer or the work of, let me say, 10 junior developers can actually be done with one person. All right. And it's so drastic because when things like this happens, the organization would want to downsize or try to become more efficient. They have to cut down some people and rely on just one person. And I've also been a victim of that. All right. I see my product manager who on a normal day would not like to get his hand dirty writing codes and doing all that. But now because there's an AI to do that way faster, he prompts it and he sends it to the senior developer to review the pull request and he gets it pushed. And it gets project done out fast. So now it's a very, very interesting time. So it's a very interesting time as a builder. It's also an interesting time as a software engineer going through this process because now you know that your pride is not in your ability to write code, but in your ability to solve problems and
Mm-hmm.
even tend to go further if you know why you're solving such problem, the business behind such problems. So that is um, that is like my current experience in tech and what gives me joy currently.
Yes.
So by next week I'll be seeing people who have gone through my system. So it's a thing of joy.
Okay, that's good. So Victoria is here. You can now take over.
Thank you so much, Chibuike. Thank you, guys. I'm really sorry. Today's network is so bad. Well, yes, and thank you for the question, Justice. So that's really a good one, and I love the response that Chibuike gave. So here's another question. Any one of you can answer this. So is becoming an entrepreneur necessary to create impact, or can someone make a difference while working within an organization? I know Chibike has worked with some organization founders, same as Upe and Jesus. So with your experience, what can you say about this related to products and AI?
Okay, I would like to go. So your question is, you have to be an entrepreneur to solve the problem. Firstly, you have to understand that being an entrepreneur is simply solving a problem that the community is facing. So it doesn't really have to have an attached title to say an entrepreneur, but either way, as long as you're solving a, to me, as long as you're solving a problem
Yeah,
that the
I can't hear
community.
him clearly though.
Okay, can you hear me now? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, I guess I
Is it
can
my
hear you
network?
clearly. I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Yeah, so I was saying, I think for me, being an entrepreneur is uh, one thing that we put a title too much on, but as long as you are solving a problem and also generating revenue, I think you are an entrepreneur because you're solving a problem and you're getting a livelihood out of it. And it's something that most of us are, but we just don't really put a title to it. I think
I
entrepreneurs are very critical in our daily lives. And in the 21st century, we do not need to really have a job, 9 to 5. We can have one, but you should also have um, a separate hustle, as we call it. Yeah, a hustle that you do on the side because it's very important to both solve the problem and also gain out of the problem because this life is not free. We need to live off something. So, yeah.
Hmm.
mm,
Yeah, yeah, that's an amazing perspective. Just to add to it, yeah, it's Entrepreneurship is all about identifying a problem and bringing a solution, right? But at the same time, what I see a lot of people making the mistake is they see entrepreneurship as the chosen one, all right. Meanwhile, there are people who are doing just as well being an employee, all right. So you could be a very good employee. Your job is taking care of all your needs. You're able to save. You're able to help others with your salary, and that's very fine. Then you could move further into the quadrant of why also being an employee, owning shares in the business you're working under or working for. That is one of the most secure paths you could take. Owning shares in that business, being a stakeholder, or why also working as an engineer, you understand system thinking. So you're able to build system to get your own personal business running at the same time. And I'll also advise for an engineer or for someone who is starting up, if you're privileged to have people who are able to serve as your backup, right, while you sit down and learn, please go for it. The mistake people make is that they do a lot of things and they get distracted and they are not able to master one to a certain level, all right? So that is one thing. Jack of all trade, master of none is bad, but sometimes at the same time, jack of all trade, but is often better than a master of one. So you just have to find a balance between both of them. And whether you're an employee or an entrepreneur, as long as you are doing your own part, there is always something for you. I hope that answered
Thanks so much.
you. That,
Yes, yes, yes. Thanks so much for the contribution. And yeah, that's really a valid point. So you have to find the balance. It's very, very important. So why finding the balance? What's one sacrifice people really talk about when pursuing showing meaningful innovations like that?
all right, so the thing is, to be honest, which is also boiled down back to why I said if you're going to embark on me on a project, I don't believe it. Right now, ask for how am I going to get paid? Is the fact
Mm,
that when working on a problem, you need to know how to focus. Some will call it obsession, but you need to be able to. There's not a balance, so don't strive for balance. If you're working on something, go all in. Sometimes if you maybe have a job, if you're not the type that your job could take care of everything you're doing, you might choose to work overtime because you're a tech bro. You could have multiple jobs and you're doing just put as well in all of them. Again, so that thin line of balance, I don't feel it's something you strive for, but I feel that by the time you have done your due diligence, eventually it will be easier for you to better manage your time and in essence find a balance. So when you're starting out, don't strive for balance, just strive to be as good as you can be. And being as good as you can be will blur the thin line of balance. All right. So that is what I have learned over time. But I'm sure that there are other
wow.
experiences to it.
Mm. So thanks so much for that. And yeah, I think today we really said very, very important things. And yeah, I hope our audience are really enjoying. Just say something. Just as is anyone talking? Is anyone talking? Or is that my network?
No, 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 no. I good. I good.
I think it's skipping. It's breaking. going on.
Yeah, good.
Let me know if I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Okay, was just saying something.
No, it wasn't.
Okay, yeah, moving on. So, okay, if everyone is watching tonight, acted like to act on one lesson from the series, the entire series that we've had. What's one decision you would hope they make before next week?
I think they should just start.
Hmm.
Just do it. Yeah, just do it. Realize why and realize that you're made for a greater purpose than just scrolling on social media. We know entertainment is good, but guys, there's so much more. You don't have an excuse anymore to say I can't code, I can't do this. You can build. Honestly, I can think of something now and build the screens in less than an hour. Something that used to take me days, I can do it in minutes. So I think they should invest in knowing what's happening. It's not a flex to say I don't know what's happening. Someone asks you, "Do you know what's happening with the AI trends?" You say no, and you think it's cool. It's not cool. It's really it really shows to say that you're focusing on the wrong things. And yeah, just start learning, finish all the projects because we are guilty of not finishing projects as innovators. I know I am part of that group. Yeah, so if you have an idea, build, invest in networks. You have LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn, find the jobs that you need, connect with the awesome speakers that are here. We are not stingy with knowledge. We all started with someone, we all started somewhere. Yeah. So over to the next speaker. Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
so for me, what I would like to leave with the audience is this: learn to finish. Okay,
Yeah.
Mm.
so I would like to share this story. It's actually a video that I watched on YouTube actually, and it's a story narrated in regard to a 28-year-old young guy who always used to start a project. He was a carpenter. He always used to start a project, but yet he didn't get to finish it. So there was this particular time, the the king daughter were having a program, and she wanted to make a like a I think a wooden stuff for her husband, because they were getting married. So she reached out to him. He was actually good, very excellent. So she reached out to him, and then she told him, "Oh, I need to fix this, and I need it within, I mean, like 1 month time." And he told her, "Okay, yes, I can get it done." And then he started, fixing that wooden stuff. And then another project pop up in his head, you know, another interesting project pop up in his head. And then he said, "Oh, let me just pause hold to this and go and work on that project that just popped up in my head." It's a very great idea. It won't take me much of a time. I'll just complete it very fast and get back to this project and complete it. But not knowing that, I mean, for every new project we start, it take out time, it take out dedication, it take out attentions, and it take out consistency to be able to push through it. So to him it was something very simple, but on the other hand it was not as simple as you think. So because of the fact that he started that new project and the idea was so interesting and he started to push through it, he now forgot about the lady project and the deadline caught up with him. So fast forward to the story, he went to this old man and he was also a carpenter, but he was highly respected. in the community. And the reason why this old man was highly respected was because of his status of finishing. Every work he started, he always completed to the to the finish line. So when we reached out to him, and he was very frustrated, and he shared his story. I just can't, finish anything, and people every time people trust me with things, I do not keep up, and I frustrate them, and they get to go away. So the old man sat him down and told him that, okay, look at this spoon, and it wasn't a spoon yet, but the old man was carving the spoon, and he was there. When the old man got done, he turned into a spoon, and the old man said, "Do you saw what I just did here?" He said, "Yes." And the old man said, "This is how life is like. You don't just start, a project. You always complete." He says starting is very exciting, but the middle is where many people stop because the middle is very difficult. The middle is where the energy, feel. The middle is where consistency is needed. The middle is where you get to abandon and new idea pop in your head. You feel is more interesting than the other one. So you need to learn how to finish what you start, unless it's not important, or unless it's not something that worth your time, or unless what you are leaving it for is far more beneficial than what you are doing. So for me, that's what I'll actually leave with the audience. It's not just about starting the exciting projects. As people say, it's very good that you start, but also learn how to finish. It's going to be very important for you. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I think I could also claim if somebody just do it. Wow, this is amazing. So for me, um, already everything I've already said, just similarity point to this. So while you're doing it, what you could do is that help me find people who you could be accountable to,
Yes,
right? Whether
accountability
it's a
is
friend, whether it's a community, whether it's your followers on social media, find them, start your project, just push to start, then let those people keep you accountable. Keep learning. Don't don't be discouraged when you hear very strange idea and you don't know about it. You just have to put a bit of like first principle thinking, or just go back, sit in silence, and figure out what comes first. Then, if you're not able to do that, you can also pose that question to someone else, and a little insight could point you in the right direction. And
yes,
finally, I would say already, everyone have said it, but just lay more emphasis on just start moving, just start
yes.
moving, just
Yeah.
do it,
Start.
right? Right, just start moving. And as long as you start, it's like my story with software engineering ALX. Somehow, the universe will find a way to point you in the right direction, unless
Yes,
you're, unless something happen. But yeah, definitely, just start. All right, so that's it. Thank you.
Hmm. Well, thank you so much for that. And we've had 3 evenings filled with incredible insights, and now we would love to hear from our keynote speaker. So if you have a question for any of our speakers, please drop it in the live comments, in live chat on YouTube or LinkedIn, wherever you're watching us from. We'd like to hear from you. So our keynote speaker, kindly introduce yourself, your name, the city or country. Well, basically, I'm saying this again because I didn't properly introduce Bupe from the beginning because he's our keynote speaker. There's a special moment for him. And before we dive into that, for the audience, actually, you should also like include your name, the city you're joining us from, and your question. For example, I am Esther from Nairobi, Kenya. My question is, Then the speakers will answer your questions. Well, and now we are transitioning to the last stage of today's session, which is one of the most important part of why we are here today. Over the past 3 days, we have talked about careers, learning, building, and creating impact. We have been reminded that great builders don't simply chase trends; they solve meaningful problems. To bring this journey to a close, we are honored to welcome someone whose career reflects exactly what we have been discussing. Our keynote speaker, our closing keynote speaker, who has built impactful solutions across mobile development, the Internet of Things, that's IoT, sustainable sustainability and innovation. So his work has demonstrates what happens technically, yes, when knowledge meets purpose. So please join me welcoming him, Bupe Chola. Welcome, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to say thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed uh, being a part of this panel. The speakers have really inspired me, though I'm the keynote speaker, but
Yeah,
yay,
I
guys.
can't hear you clearly, but I want you to like in 5 minutes if you can briefly tell us the story, like summarize everything. So we discovered that there have never been a better time to solve meaningful problems. Then we challenge ourselves to move beyond endless learnings and begin building. So tonight we learned that building alone isn't enough. The goal is to build solutions that improve lives. Technology is not the destination; it is the tools that we all need. So the real destination is the impact we have had over this. So is aren't about software engineering, artificial intelligence, Web3, or product development. So they were about becoming people who notice problem, think critically, collaborate with others, and create solutions that leave communities better than we found them. So the greatest takeaway from this series is don't measure your progress by how many courses you have completed or you've watched or you've attended. So measure it by the so the people you've helped and the value you have created. So this is what the business session is the kind of mindset it's creating. We've really gone past 2 hours on this. So that's what I mean. So our keynote speaker, please, you have the floor for 5 minutes. We have to reduce to 5 minutes because yeah, thank you, sir.
Okay, just give me 1 minute to appreciate the speakers. They have really inspired me to continue doing. And sorry, Victoria, I'll go past 5 minutes because I need to give them their flowers. Um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, having people that have been in the industry for longer than me and just sit down and listen from this guy they just met, this guy from Zambia. One of our speakers is in China. He's with the people that do the innovation like every day. It's yeah, and yeah, reach out to any one of the speakers and get insight. Don't be afraid to reach out. That's one thing I've learned over the past few years. Yeah. So I think over the past few days that we've been attending the sessions, we've gotten to learn. I think honestly for me, the highlight was it's not about how many courses or programs that you complete, but how many lives you impact positively. Yeah. So I think Victoria asked me to present a small project or any project that I have. So let me just share my screen that I chose to finish. Uh, I started and chose to finish. So this is basically an app that tracks your coding time. Don't be don't be surprised with the time that you're seeing there. That's like an average of the whole week. So a total sum of the whole week and the average is like 1 hour. Yeah. So basically, that it tracks your time spent on code. The average daily average for me is 1 hour and 40 minutes. Then my best time this week is 2 hours. That's yeah, in a day. Um, the graphs there, they show your coding times, your coding consistency. And then down there on languages, you get to see languages that you've interacted with the whole week. Yeah, so I'm a mobile developer, so you get to see that a lot. Kotlin and CMake, XML, Markdown for my documentation and the like. Yeah, so I use Android Studio. I use Windows. That's very um, hectic because most people prefer Linux-based systems. I'm a Mac user and I don't have money yet for a MacBook, so we'll stick to Windows for now. Yeah, so I was working on a platform for Emerge Zambia. It's a project that's coming up. I'm still working on it. Then Punzilla is basically a STEM education platform. Yeah, that uses gamification. Uh, yeah, basically that. Um, you get to see that I've spent more time on Emerge Zambia, the app. That's 9 hours this week. Punzilla, only
Wow.
16 minutes because I was just fixing a few things. So basically, that you can export your stuff, your data, well, over the past time that you've had the app, and it will show you a detailed breakdown on what you've worked on. Yeah. So if you would like to collaborate, I'm free. The other speakers are free, and I'm looking forward to collaborating with all the speakers, all three of the speakers that are present, and even the ones that took us through the lessons because it's good to have help. So that's my take. I don't know if there are any questions from Victoria or anything that I've left out. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Is that app majorly for Zambia alone?
No, it's for everyone. It's just not yet on Play Store yet, but you're expecting it soon in this July because I'm shipping majority of my apps. I need to finish as the code today has been. Yeah,
Yes, we gotta
yeah,
finish, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So thanks so much for that. I believe that, yeah. So if you're watching from YouTube, you'd have seen that one of our speakers is a LinkedIn account. I mean the name on the chat box, so you can check Chibuike Cletus Nwafor if you want to get him on LinkedIn. So other speakers should do the same. You can also drop your name. They will just put it here on the stage so that everyone watching can access you on LinkedIn easily. And if you have other links to share, so you can easily drop it there, either on YouTube or LinkedIn, so that anybody who watches the video can access you through there. Yeah, so collaboration, yes. Every one of us here on this call, the speakers, yes, we are open, you know, we're open to this. And this particular session going on here is one of the collaborations that we're having. So yeah, and building more projects and building applications that are kind of useful, like what Bupe just showed us. Yes, that's why we are together. So viewers, if you know that you also have an idea and you want to collaborate, you can just send a DM to us. Drop it in the comment section. I will get your then we will get your comment, then respond to you.
So,
Thank you. So
Bupi,
just do you
so
have anything to say?
no, nothing much. Bupi,
yeah,
so we have a project to collaborate on, right? I was looking
yeah.
for.
I think I'm really not comfortable because my network is very bad. I didn't really hear most of what we said and what this is saying now. I'm just kind of carried just with the idea.
So yeah, sorry about that, Bupi. So that is, I mean, your own problem right now. Well, Bupi, so we have something to work on, right?
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
I've been in search for a mobile app developer. So since you are available, then we'll have to work on things. So once I close up some things, then I will get in touch with you so we can do other work on things.
All right, sure,
It's
no
actually the
problem.
next time with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay. Yeah. So before we leave tonight, I'd like to challenge you to do three things. First, identify one problem around you that genuinely matters. So second, build one small solution, even if it is not perfect. Third, share your journey because builders don't wait until everything is perfect before they begin. They start, they learn, they improve, they keep going. We hope that months from now you look back at this conversation and say, the builder sessions inspired me to start. And when you build something, whether it's your first portfolio project or your first app, your first startup, or your first community initiatives, we would like to hear from you. We'd like to hear your story. Tag Welcome Intellectuals community and let us celebrate your progress with you. So this is not the end of this conversation. It is the beginning of a community of builders. So I can principals I say thank you so much. Thank you for your wisdom, your honesty, your willingness to pour into this community. To our distinguished keynote speaker, Bupe Chola Chiyana, thank you for inspiring us through both your work and your words. It's really amazing. To everyone who has joined us from different countries around the world, thank you for believing in this vision. Thank you for choosing to visit and meaning to invest your time in learning, thinking, and growing. So we certainly hope that this conversation have changed you. I mean, challenge you, encourage you, and equip you to build with greater purpose. So if you have enjoyed this series, don't let it end here. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow Welcome to Lectures community across our social media platform, and stay connected as we continue creating opportunities to learn, collaborate, and innovate together. So in the comment section, you see when you check the YouTube channel, at the bottom you see most of our links to other platforms that we have: WhatsApp, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, X, and even TikTok. Everything is there. So you can follow us on all the platforms, and we'll really be glad to have you everywhere with us. And finally, remember this: technology will continue to evolve, AI will continue to advance, new tools will emerge. Yeah. But the world will always need people who can think deeply, solve meaningful problems, and build solutions that make life better. Be one of those people. I should be one of those people. So thank you for being part of the Builder Session 1.0. At Welcome to Lectures, we don't just learn technology, we build solutions. Although this is the final day of the series, the journey doesn't end here. Keep learning, keep building, keep creating impact. We'll see you again at Welcome to Lectures next experience. So good night. God bless you and thank you.
Okay. See. Good night, guys. All right.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you so much.